on GAP News, PIP implants response from government. It is being criticised for being inadequate. Also, war of words over the pastry tax continues. Face transplant allows patient to smile again. And Cameron takes on Coe in a badminton battle. Hello and welcome to GAP News. I'm Gary Pendlebury. The government and a health regulator have been criticised for their inadequate communication with women over the PIP breast implant scandal, MPs have said. A near 21-month delay between a safety alert being issued to surgeons over the potentially faulty implants and urgent action to gather evidence and communicate with victims was pointed out by the Commons Health Committee. Around 47,000 British women are believed to have been given the implants manufactured by the French company Polyimplant Prothèses, PIP. The report also outlined new evidence that showed the health implications for some women. Surgeons are experiencing increased difficulty in removing ruptured implants, which may mean there is a need to take them out early. One of the clinics says women are suffering redness and lumpy granular tissue. Even when implants have not ruptured, surgeons taking them out have found a milky secretion in 20 to 25% of cases. MPs questioned the actions of both the government and Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, MHRA. The MHRA issued an alert in March 2010 telling surgeons they should stop using PIP implants following concerns raised in France. Such alerts require the NHS to respond saying they will not use the devices, but no such response is required from private clinics who use the vast majority of PIP implants. The report said no awareness campaign was made to trace affected women, while the committee heard from the MHRA's head, Sir Kent Woods, that he would not guarantee private firms had not continued using the implants. He sincerely hoped this had not happened. The report added that it was surprising that the urgent action to gather evidence and communicate with women only gathered pace in December 2011 when the French government recommended women have the implants removed. MPs agreed with the government that women who had implants on the NHS can have them removed and replaced, and added that those who have had them privately could have them removed by the health service if there was a clinical need. However, they said the Department of Health should consider allowing these women to pay for new implants to be inserted if that is their desire. Prime Minister David Cameron has defended the decision to charge VAT on hot food served by shops and supermarkets. Mr Cameron said that the move, which would add 20% to the cost of hot pies and pasties sold by shops like Greggs, would defend takeaway restaurants against competition from major chains. He said, "What the government has to try to do is make sure the VAT rules are fairly applied. I don't think it is fair that the small businessman running a fried chicken takeaway is having to charge his customers VAT, but the big supermarket isn't having to pay VAT on fresh hot chicken." Mr Cameron also admitted that he had eaten a hot pasty from the West Cornwall Pasty Company in Leeds. Network Rail later said the branch of the company in the station closed on the 31st of March 2007. but they also said that there was a branch of the Cornish Bakehouse up until the 23rd of March. On Wednesday morning, the Labour leader Ed Miliband talked to the press outside a Greggs outlet in Redditch, where he, the Shadow Chancellor Ed Balls and the Shadow Chief Secretary to the Treasury Rachel Reeves made a brief stop to buy some sausage rolls. On Tuesday, the boss of Greggs accused George Osborne of having lost touch after the Chancellor admitted he could not remember the last time he bought a pasty. Chief Executive Ken McMeekan said ministers did not appreciate the impact changes to VAT rules would have on ordinary people. The High Street bakery chain saw millions wiped off its shares after the Chancellor used the budget to clamp down on a loophole which has meant some hot takeaway foods, like sausage rolls and pasties, escaped VAT. During George Osborne's appearance at a Treasury Select Committee, he was asked by the Labour MP John Mann the last time he bought a pasty at Greggs. The Chancellor replied, "I can't remember the last time I bought a pasty in Greggs." Mr. Mann retorted that kind of sums it up. He then went on to ridicule the Treasury consultation document setting out the new criteria on what qualifies as hot food for VAT purposes. Mr. Osborne, however, insisted that it was all perfectly straightforward. A man has come out of 15 years of hiding after a groundbreaking transplant operation gave him the confidence to face the world again. Richard Norris, 37, has worn a mask outdoors ever since he was shot in the face in 1997. He lost his nose, lips and most of the movement in his mouth in the attack. Through the years, he underwent many reconstructive operations, but none left him confident enough to reveal his face. Last week, doctors at the University of Maryland School of Medicine completed a trailblazing procedure that left him with a new face. The operation was made possible when an anonymous donor left his face to the hospital. 6 days after the surgery, doctors said Norris could already move his tongue and open and close his eyes. But the biggest change for Norris came when he looked in a mirror for the first time. Several face transplants have been undertaken before in Fort Worth, Texas and Boston, Massachusetts. By many accounts, Norris's has been the most successful aesthetically. He also was the first patient to retain his vision. Norris still has the use of his facial expressions and movements. Doctors gave him a new tongue for proper speech, eating and chewing. They also aligned his teeth and connected his nerves, allowing him to smile. About 100 doctors, scientists and other university staff were involved in the operation. The Prime Minister and Olympics chair Sebastian Coe joined a group of young badminton players for a game in the Downing Street Garden. Strolling onto the pitch in a crisp white shirt, Mr. Cameron was heard to say, "I don't know the rules." Some of the younger players, who were there to launch the Sainsbury's School Games competition, helped demystify the game. All players soon got into their stride, managing some relatively long rallies, despite some shocking misses from Cameron and Co. The two younger players kept a low profile, allowing the rivalry between the two political allies to bubble to the surface. At one point the Prime Minister uttered, "I want to beat Seb, you know." No one noted the final score. It was a friendly game after all, but it wouldn't have surprised anyone to learn that both Cameron and Co were counting. That's it from us. We've got the weather forecast next. We'll be back with a new look JP News late this year, but for now, from everyone on the 6:30 team, have a lovely night and we'll see you soon. Goodbye.